Hi everyone. Today I'd like to make a video on whether your pain is the result of trauma, childhood trauma or any trauma, or if it is something that is genetic or a product of this lifetime. Because, if you're wondering what that sounds, I'm cracking my ankles. But yeah, anyway, if you can hear it even. But anyways, I don't know exactly like what this lifetime is. Is it just I think it's a worthiness test. Life is meant to be hard for a lot of people. It's a good explanation for why there's so much suffering on the planet. I feel like if this was just the product of evolution, then there'd probably be less suffering on the planet because we wouldn't have evolved to just have such horrible lives. Life would have to be seen as worth living for people to even want to have children because they wouldn't want to bring someone into a horrible world. So, though people still do, even though people in immense suffering still bring children into this world, it boggles my mind. But so then the question is your pain childhood trauma? And I do not think that it is. There's a lot of people in the spiritual community who say their pain is childhood trauma, that your pain is childhood trauma, that you're healing from childhood trauma. And if you're in the Western world, chances are you did not face anything that was bad enough to cause trauma. This lines up with what the research and the experts would suggest, I would imagine anyways. If I went and told my therapist that my pain was childhood trauma, he would tell me that it's not. And one of the big reasons for that is then that makes your parents horrible people for just simple disciplining you. It just sounds awful. The world is that you're this huge victim and the world is against you. And the world is doing horrible things all the time. And I mean, of course, there's a lot of bad stuff in the world, but that means that good people are evil too. I mean, that means the world is an incredibly evil place. It's too dark of a view to hold. It's not in reality either. I used to joke like, my mom would let me eat 3 Pop-Tarts. She only had me eat 2 Pop-Tarts because if me and my siblings all had 3 Pop-Tarts, then there would have been 1 Pop-Tart left in the box, and no one would eat the Pop-Tart. I'm traumatized. The trauma, So if you're in the Western world, okay. So now, this is not a view held by psychiatrists who do a lot of research on this stuff, actual research. Though there is something to be said about, scientists mess up sometimes. They say, oh, you can't eat red meat or it'll give you heart problems. And then they say, oh, you can eat all the red meat you want. They switch it around to like, scientists, you're ruining your credibility here. So I understand that, but there is also something to be said about peer-reviewed scientific research. It is effective at times and helpful at times. So it brings to the next point, which is that I thought that your difficulties in life are to make you stronger. So the question is, what makes you stronger and what makes you weaker? Trauma would make you weaker. So the theory that it's all childhood trauma would imply that everything in your life makes you weaker. Anytime you go through adversity, it makes you weaker. Because this thing that childhood trauma is just a form of adversity that you face as a child. And probably not all that much adversity because we're weak as children. I don't want to say that we're weak as children because I don't want to call children weak. That'd be pretty bad to say that like to the face or whatever. But we're not as strong as children as we are as adults. When you face adversity, oftentimes you grow stronger, you grow tougher. You become a better person because of it. I'm going to see this still recording. You become a better person because of it. So if we're going to try to protect our children from any and all adversity, I guarantee you our children are going to become very dysfunctional. They're not going to, when they become older, they're not going to be able to handle the challenges and difficulties of the world. So yeah, that's my take on it. I don't believe there's all childhood trauma. I can make videos on the law of attraction and other things too eventually, but for now I'm just going to leave it with this. And thanks for watching and have a good day.